All right, greetings. What is up? It is another Thursday. We're back. It is The Drop. I'm Ruben Dominguez. This is Quinn Bishop. Hello, Mark Stone. Just jumping into
straight away,
right in, jumping into the comments.
I'm here.
I love that. Diara says hi. What is up? Look at all these people. Yeah.
Hello, Houston.
And for The Drop 2 is a lot of people, so we're very excited to have them with us. So congratulations, you survived Record Store Day.
We did. The whole staff, everybody was wonderful. It rose to the occasion, and I felt fortunate we didn't have an event, so everybody that was our core customers and new customers had a great experience. It was a terrific day. It was really great. It was fun, and thank you to everybody that turned out. And if you were here and you missed something, we're still restocking stuff. We're actually going to post a whole list of stuff that you can pre-order. And
nice.
If you missed out on it, or you think I'm not going to try to get the Van Halen, that's gone, or what? Nope. We have more stock, and you can reserve your copies. Just look for that on our socials. You'll find that.
I love that.
It should be good. Best compliment of the day during Record Store Day.
What was that?
I had a customer tell us that the way we operate our line is as well run as the drive-through at Chick-fil-A.
High praise, my friends.
Like, whoa, come on.
That is high praise. Remember, what was it if Chick-fil-A was in charge of the COVID? What? Never mind. COVID would be over by now or whatever.
Totally.
I don't know.
Efficiency,
I'm
people.
gone.
Efficiency.
I'm off the rails already. Let's do it.
Hey, you know what? In-store events, they're back.
Oh my God.
They're back at
Two
Cactus.
big ones.
And I got two great performances and one very cool event to tell you about today. And we're kicking it off on Sunday at 2 p.m. That's this Sunday. We have the great Chris Duarte performing tracks from his brand new record, Ain't Giving Up.
Look at that.
If you don't know this guy, Austin, Texas player, very versatile player. He's made a bunch of records, really just a troubadour, journeyman. A lot of great people contribute to this record. He is working with Dennis
already.
He's working with Dennis Herring on this record, reunited with him, and Dennis has worked, produced Elvis Costello and Buddy Guy and a bunch of greats. So this record, it's all on vintage gear. It's recorded to tape. It's a great sounding record, and I think if you're a blues fan, this is one to pick up, and he's pretty dependable. But he's going to be on KPFT. Their Sunday is pretty much all blues programming.
Right.
So he's going to do an on-air on KPFT, and then earlier, and then come over at 2 p.m. and rock the Record Store. And I hope everybody comes out. It's be complimentary St. Arnold beverages. I always just think that Sundays are great for the blues. It's a great day for blues.
Done. I couldn't agree more. Agree more. If you've never seen him live.
Terrific player.
Definitely worth seeing.
Terrific
player. I had the pleasure of seeing him very early on. I think he'd just gotten a record deal. I saw him in Austin.
Oh yeah, he was. He was a big deal.
He can play the guitar.
He's pretty good. Next, another one of these global listening events. They've managed to keep this Ed Sheeran record.
It's a big one.
They've managed to keep it embargoed, meaning you can't hear it online. And Cactus. Next Wednesday, 5 p.m. This will be the first place that you can hear the album in its entirety. Obviously, a huge artist. He sold 150 million albums, and it's just a huge artist. He has a real connection to his fans, and this is he's saying this record Subtract. This is the last of the mathematical themed records.
Right.
I think he's running out of symbols. Yeah. And it should be great. You can win tickets to his concert, and we have a bunch of other great prizes, which I can't tell you about. But we got a bunch of free stuff too, posters and
I don't want this to get
cool tchotchke stuff. So from 5 to 6, we'll be playing that new album, and you can come by. Again, complimentary St. Arnold beverages, and we'll have Topo Chico and some other refreshments for you.
I love that.
And then immediately following that, you ready for this?
I am.
6:30 p.m.
Yes.
The Heartless Bastards are going to rock the Record Store.
I have to come to this.
Yeah, it's going to be so good.
I've got to come to this.
So they released this record, Beautiful Life, like a lot of artists. They had an album ready when the pandemic happened, and they just said, you know what, we're just going to put this record out, and we're not going to wait for 3. We're going to put this record out, and I think it got some acclaim. They've really shown a lot of growth as a band, evolving out of a really kind of rootsy, bluesy rock kind of thing.
Rootsy rock band, and I love going on YouTube and like looking up like live gigs by them, because I've never seen them live, and I don't. Well, a lot of artists, I almost rather watch them live,
than
spend a lot of time just because obviously you have the visual, but just in listening to the album or whatever, because and most of the time there'll be bad recordings or whatever, but there's just that's where the magic is. Like
right.
how
you immediately get it.
Yeah.
And you're either going to get it or you're not from a live performance. And so and I love to be able to say this. It's on occasion I get to say this about in stores. We're the gig. There's no other gig. They're playing Houston. They're on their way to what's the name of that festival? They're on their way.
Oh, so they're just doing the in-store.
They're on their way to Sneaky Knees, so they're playing in the South, and they don't have a Houston gig because they're playing on the 3rd here at the new Last Concert Cafe.
Yes,
but we're the gig this time around, and man, it's just going to be awesome. We hope a bunch of people come out and support them. They're finally out working this record that they put out during the pandemic. It's a great record.
She's
cool
got
band,
such a wonderful voice.
Awesome just front person. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we hope to see you for that. So
there you go. Man, you guys are coming out of the gate strong.
Yeah, and we're gonna put some more stuff out there. So pay attention to it in our socials. Sign up for our email. That's how you find out about stuff first. And stay tuned. There's gonna be a bunch of great in-store performances.
Sir.
All right,
this is exciting stuff.
Well, we haven't done it, but it's gonna be good.
And follow them on the social if you're not already.
You want to talk some new releases?
I want to talk.
Let's do 100%. Let's do it. We're going to kick it. Oh, and I didn't show it there. There you go.
There it is.
There's the Heartless Bastard. That's a brand new record. There's Erica looking super cool and like she just beamed in from the future, right?
I could not remember her name for life. I mean, when I said her voice, yeah. On the 30 Tigers label.
And she's, I love this. She reached out to us. She's like, hey, I don't have a gig in Houston. Can I play at Cactus?
Brother, that's so cool.
Love it.
That's so cool.
Yep.
Have you heard the whole record?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
they continue to grow and evolve.
Solid, man. They're
cool
solid.
Band. Cool
They're
band.
Solid.
Okay. New releases. We're kicking up. This is a big one of the most anticipated records of the year.
Indeed.
This is the National. This is first 2 pages of Frankenstein. Obviously moody, band of dynamics in their music.
Yes.
People really, I know people that's like their favorite band.
Yes.
I mean, I get it. They're cool. But people are really, really passionate about this band.
Dude, come on. This is fantastic. They have a song on here called New Order T-shirt. That's brilliant.
Great. I didn't see that. That's
awesome.
Fantastic. That's pretty good. And there's a lot, I will say this. So they're kind of, I think, kind of dour and downbeat. It's like this, but there's a lot of humor. There's a lot of humor what they do. Tell them about the guests on this record, man.
Yes, this should be shocking to no one that Phoebe Bridgers turns up on a track as well as Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and you got Sufjan Stevens on there too. So,
did I miss that one? Yeah, first one. There it is.
So
Sufjan Stevens.
Again, a lot of anticipations. They take long enough between records. I think that they deliver the goods to their fans whenever they put out a new record.
100%.
And I'm going to make a wild prediction. You ready for this?
Do it.
This is going to be the best-selling album of 2023 by a band that has 2 sets of brothers in it.
That's rolling the dice.
That's
rolling the dice. All right, and there's a bonus if you can name any other band with 2 sets of brothers.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah, because you'll get free tickets to something, I'm sure, if you call us.
All right. Next
there's more.
There's more. Water Parks. They have a brand new record. This is Intellectual Property.
We love Water Parks.
Problem with Water Park. I'm just going to speak to
all.
Whoa,
of you. Maybe I should back that up. I love Water Parks.
I love Water Parks. All you aspiring musicians out there, if you're going to release work, go ahead and put the name of your band on the album cover, because I've had people go, hey, "Where's the Water Parks record?"
Well, maybe they thought that a photo of a poison dart frog would just kind of. No, that doesn't put you anywhere near Water Parks, does it? It says Water Parks, teeny tiny letters right there.
That's not so.
That doesn't count.
Not for me anyway.
No.
Interesting band from Houston, Texas.
Yes.
Yeah, they really started as a punk band, and now they're still, the music still has that quality, but there's a lot of recorder, a lot of modern pop elements to it.
It's kind of like a post pop punk thing with electronic.
Yeah, they're kind of doing their own
things and samples. There's a couple of songs on here where we're just like going into a chorus or coming out of a chorus. It's almost Blink 182.
Absolutely.
Just little dashes of that. That's a great thing. That's not a bad thing at all.
And our store has a really long relationship with
you
this
guys have
band.
had them here.
We had
many
them
times.
Play when they were on, I think, the Warp Tour. And they didn't have anything. They had a bunch of songs out there digitally and had found a following. They pressed up a tour EP just to go on this tour, and we did an in-store with them.
Oh, that's great.
For that, and flash forward, we did it. It was one of the only events we did during the pandemic. We had them for a meet and greet for 300 fans.
That's
people
amazing.
were just euphoric. People love this band, and we're hoping to have them back soon. They're playing here over the summer.
Quick
so we're
question:
hoping to have them back.
Did you ever attend a Warped Tour?
I never did.
I did it a couple of times.
Yeah.
Here.
Did you have to cover it?
Yes.
Of course.
Yes. Yeah. We interviewed. Who did we interview? Oh my God. Gym Class Heroes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And somebody else. But the funny thing was, not the funny thing, but I couldn't figure it out. It's like I'm pretty sure it was like August, and it was in the parking lot of the Sam Houston Raceway. There were people dropping like flies.
Yeah.
There were people that'd been there like since the morning. And like in between whatever band they want, and there's no shade anywhere.
And
there's no shade
dropped
anywhere.
But their sneakers had
melted to the ground.
asphalt.
Yeah, correct. So it's sad that never mind. But anyway, we lived through it. But I was like, oh my God, I cannot imagine being here all day waiting to see your favorite band.
Couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Ugh.
I couldn't do it. I might do it. Who knows? Let me know what it is.
I'll let you know.
Next up, this is another wild one, right? This is Everything But the Girl. This is their new album, Fuse, and we have autographed copies for sale.
I heard
Look at
this
that.
was coming.
So they must have taken the page out of the Tears for Fears book. They have not made an album in 24 years.
Yes,
24 years.
Yes.
And they're back. For those of you who don't know,
God
kind of
bless 'em.
electronic-y, jazz, pop duo. Tracy Thorn's a fantastic singer.
Yeah.
Ben Watt's a great musician.
Very, very popular in their day.
Yeah, and huge in the UK. Their records are
There's
really
stuff in here.
There's stuff. It's a cool band. They have very, very, very loyal fans. You get two of the inserts. Oh, there's lyrics. And could the album cover be more 80s?
It's 80s, 90s ish. Just this weekend of just sitting around the house, pick this one up.
So it's great to have them back. You can get autographed editions at Cactus. Check them out. They have there's a great playlist by them on any of your streaming services. They have more songs than a lot of songs placed in films that you would know.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay, next up, one of my favorite guys ever, Ian Hunter from Mott the Hoople. A brand new record from him. This is Defiance Part 1. What you need to know about him: he is one of the greatest British songwriters ever,
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Tell the kids about Mott the Hoople.
Mott the Hoople, one of the original glam groups. People know them from opening for Queen in like 1973 over here. All the young dudes, all the way from Memphis. They actually had a bunch of album rock staples, but he has just consistently made great records. And there's a great line on this record, which I'm going to quote. When I was 30, I was over the hill. 30 years later, I still kill. Nice. And he does this record. If he gives the people what they want, fantastic record. Bunch of great guests on here, including, I think, one of the very last Taylor Hawkins performances.
Jeff Beck, Joe Elliott, Billy Gibbons,
Brad Whitford,
Billy Bob Thornton,
Slash, Todd Rundgren,
Joe
Elliott,
Waddy Wachtel.
There's almost
Robert
not enough
Trujillo.
space.
Oh my God!
Not enough.
Now
space.
you're just showing off. Ringo Starr. Come on, man.
This guy is 83.
Is he really?
He is. Yeah, his voice. He was older than everybody else in the.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
But great singer. He was more of like the Dylan era, and then just made it in rock.
I heard they played a Mott the Hoople song the other day, and I was like, "What is this?" And I Shazammed it. And I was like, "Oh my God,
so good!"
And it did not sound like a song written and recorded in the time that it was.
It's got that timeless.
It was
quality.
It was amazing. Yeah.
So I love check that out. Another in the classic rock genre we're pulling. I hear this is a brand new record from Jethro Tull, Rock Flute.
Yes.
And this is a mostly instrumental record from him. Ian Anderson in the band. Again, like one of the A-list classic rock bands. Always good to get a new record from them. And for people that wanted more, some people want more cowbell. You want more flute?
They got more flute.
There's more flute.
The 23rd studio album.
It's a lot. It's a lot of records. That's what I'm saying.
Wow. All right. Cool stuff, man. That's on colored vinyl. So
it's on colored vinyl. Any store exclusive colored vinyl. All right. Another one of my favorites. This thing is stacked with my favorite artists.
Killer list today.
New record from The Damned.
Wow.
For those that you don't know, The Damned were original first generation English punk band. They had
inspired. Everybody.
One of the most influential, one of the greatest frontmans frontmen in the with Dave
100% Dave Anian.
They have the distinction of being the first punk band to release a single, to release an album, and to tour the U.S.
Did not know that.
Yeah, they are right up there at the top. They beat the Clash and Sex Pistols over the fence there.
On transparent vinyl.
And I have a theory why what they weren't is they were certainly snotty, but of all that first generation English punk bands, they just had a lot more humor going on. They never took themselves seriously. So you get a lot of humor, a lot of horror.
Yeah.
They're just terrific. And let's hope for a tour because they're a great band.
Wonderful.
All right. I'm so excited to talk about some of these new artists that people can plug into.
Yeah.
So this is such a cool band. This is GoGo Penguin. They're an English, and I'm just going to say a band because, and this is their new record. Everything is going to be okay. Man, it's very minimalist. You know, you just have like 4 players, and it is as much rooted in jazz as it is like Aphex Twin and Square Pusher, and then there's a classical element too, like Debussy and
ambient,
Shostakovich.
Acoustic at times, progressive.
A lot of space.
I think it's their 5th.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, obviously not a household name in the U.S. at all. I really liked it. I gave it a quick listen. I really liked it.
And Blue Note snagged them and signed them. And
oh, really?
And it's really going to amp up their
profile.
100%. And this is a cool group. You're going to be hearing more and more.
And well, obviously, Blue Note wouldn't have signed like top shelf players. Like everything on here is.
It's cool, and it's just so different.
It sounds kind of like the cover.
I would agree with that.
In a really
truth in advertising,
in a really wonderful way.
Truth in advertising.
I don't know these guys.
I think it's their own imprint through.
Got it.
Through
We're learning things.
Blue Note things. Okay. Do you know who this guy is?
This is all you because I don't know. I saw it on the list and I didn't have time to get to it.
I'm so excited to talk about this record. This is Abraham Alexander, and what you need to know about him: he's from Houston, Texas.
Come on.
And this is his debut record, and it is terrific. I think this is going to be one of the next artists that you hear about from Houston. Great soul singer, but he's a terrific guitar player. He has a very compelling, poignant life story, which is covered well on this record. And the first single, Tears Run Dry, this record's fantastic. He's got the great Mavis Staples on the record. Who gets Mavis Staples on their debut album?
Gary Clark Jr.
And so this is on Dual Tone, which is the home of Shovels and Rope and
so
Hayes
bluesy,
Carlin. It is a soul record.
Yeah.
Like if you're but I hate to put it in that box because there's a lot more going on there because the guitar's really out front, great singer. But
there you go, guys. Look for that one.
He's on tour right now. He's playing June 10th at White Oak Music Hall. We're going to try to get him here before then to play for you because people need to know about this guy, and I think he's going to end up selling a lot of records. Sea Suns is the name of the album. Highly recommended.
Also,
that's my endorsement.
Album download is included, and good old black vinyl.
I like there's a colored version too, but there's probably red or whatever.
Oh, is there? Okay.
There is, but
this one says on black wax.
I like black. Black sounds better, by the way, people. If you didn't know that. All right, you ready to talk about reissues?
Please.
How about this guy behind us right here? How about this guy? 1992
for the
album.
For the next 3 minutes, it's Dre Day here here at Cactus Music.
And it came out on 420. They moved the street date around so it could come out on 420. We have posters for Added Value.
That's fantastic because I loved the cover art from the moment I saw it. Oh, yeah. Then the moment I heard it, I was like, God, it's just amazing.
I mean, it's one of the most important hip hop records ever. Launches Snoop. It's sophisticated and boogie and just it still hits hard. It is
launched 1,000 samplers.
Yeah, 1992, man. Whew. But there it is. Oh, there it is. Oh, just reissued. This hasn't really been a bit. We were buying copies from Europe for a while because you couldn't get it over here. But man. I mean, you got to have this record. I don't know really what to say about it other than This is one to have.
Yeah. Produced executive producer, of course,
Suge Knight.
Mr. Suge Knight.
Yeah, don't get in his way. All right, and back to Houston, Texas for our next selection.
So good.
There hasn't been a real best of 13th Floor Elevators. This is 13 of the best CD collection, vinyl forthcoming. This is, original 1960s international artists, the granddaddies of psychedelic music.
100%.
And
Look at that.
and their master tapes were missing for a long time, and
I didn't know that.
There were a lot of bad sounding records out there. This really restores the fidelity and sound quality to what you can buy in the stores. And hey, and it's confusing. There's a lot of live things out there, whatever. No, this is the 13 best.
This is the real one.
This is a good place to jump off if you're trying to figure that whole thing out.
This is your legit Texas rock and roll historical document here. That's great. I love it.
And a lot of anniversaries.
Oh yes,
this is I can't believe it.
Great album.
20th anniversary of White Stripes Elephant. Now this has been reissued on red, clear, and black smoke vinyl. Been out of print for a while. Obviously, they've done a bunch of different color variants over the year, but there's a bunch of, and this is
a bunch of material on here, man.
Yeah, they really crammed. But Seven Nation Army. I mean, you can't watch a sporting event and not hear that tune. Hardest Button to Button. I just don't know what to do
Ball
with myself.
and Biscuit.
I think this record kind of gets slammed a little bit in the big picture with their other records, but it's great. It's one of the best. Some people like the earlier stuff. I think this is
I like all of
record.
it.
Yeah.
But I've said this before on the drop. I totally missed on the first album. I was like, "What is this?"
Me too.
What? It's all
right.
Yeah.
All right. We got another one of these box sets that's gonna break your arm.
Luckily, I've been going to the gym, so I feel good about it. Yes.
It's the 40th anniversary. We're talking about anniversaries here. This is
I saw that too.
Rush Signals.
Sorry.
This is a monster box set that features you get CDs, high speed, Blu-ray audio, 40-page hardcover book. You get a poster. You get a 7-inch. Digital Man lenticulars.
I don't know what that is. I know what a lenticular
I think
is.
Digital Man's their guy.
Okay.
That's their guy.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So they got a remastered CD. There's a DMM digital metal mastered vinyl, 7-inch. It's got a bunch of DVD. There's a lot of stuff on here.
This is must have for that serious Rush aficionado in your life.
Yeah, and so this has been a part of a series. They're working their way through all the records, and this is a hotly
for me
disputed album
in my if you were to talk to me from my 17-year-old music fan brain to about 25-ish, I or maybe still, I mean, this was like the last real Rush record that I felt like real Rush to me.
Right.
And then they got a little bit more experimental, and there was like some different things, and there were still elements of Rush, but I didn't buy anyone after this one. This is the last Rush album I bought.
There you go.
Long way getting around to saying.
Yeah, what are you gonna do with that? Where are you gonna put that thing?
Every now and then, just throw the elbow into the ribs when I'm going. Just do something. Do something.
No, I meant
because that was a mess.
I
know, but both.
It's too much to it. Too much. Okay, let's talk about RSD Essentials. Record Store Day is done, but of course, there's always records.
This dude
branded that are coordinated with Record Store Day that are titles. These are solicited, and they basically build them to production of orders. Or build the production to orders, and whatever's in the stores, that's what it is. I'm sure it'll come back later as a regular version, but this is a white splatter on orange vinyl of Anderson .Paak's Malibu.
I waited around a venue for several hours until right before showtime. I got no interviews. There'd been a little bit of a disconnect between what the label had said and what the artist wanted.
We've been there.
Yeah, and I get it. Hey, I get it, man.
It happens.
Hey,
guess what? You're not on the itinerary. They're getting coffee right now. Anyway, his second record, big record, lots of guests.
Yeah.
The thing I like about him is that he really kind of weaves in a lot of 60s soul into with the 90s sounding hip hop. That's always going to get me. If I hear elements of that, it's always going to grab me. And he's great.
Speaking of multi-instrumentalists,
he
killer drummer.
I like that. And I always think if you're an artful musician, you can play a bunch of different stuff. But if you start as a drummer, it really just kind of locks everything.
How much money did he make off of that the Bruno thing?
The Silk Sonic. Yeah, it's a cool record.
How many? I mean, they did that residency in Vegas. I mean, that was like
Yeah.
It was the hardest ticket to get on the planet for a while.
Yeah, no doubt.
Did you see any of the U2 sneak peek of their thing?
I did not.
So they've built this it's just called Sphere. They built an entire arena or something.
Oh, geez.
It will be multi-use after that, but their residency will be in this Sphere, and it was built to be acoustically everything perfect, no bad place in there where you can hear it.
I like that.
But it'll work the same for film and performance. Yeah, so I saw a little sneak. What's the British guy interviews everybody? Zane somebody. Well, it was one of his. He posted on BBC.
Oh wow!
Yeah, really
right
cool.
On.
Anyway,
that'll be. I'd like to see that.
Exactly.
Cranking out the
headed to the exit door.
Okay, our last reissue to talk about. Our
this
RSD
is
Essential.
Cool.
This is okay. So there's live albums. And I think a lot of live albums are just souvenirs of a show you saw.
Right.
It's a cashing its way to make more money off the tour. And then there's live albums that are transcendent, that are just great.
Yeah.
I mean, just beyond their intention. And this is Bill Withers live at Carnegie Hall.
Say no more.
This is one of the greatest live records of the 70s. It's recorded really well. It sounds like you're in the room. You know, he'd only had two studio albums prior to this, but this performance was so great. This was keyed up as his next record, of course. You know, Lean on Me's on there, and some of the other hits. One of my favorites, Grandma's Hands. I mean, he's such a cool guitar player. He's such a brilliant singer, and this little band just really puts it across in such a big way. This is my go-to record for him. From
really,
like when I want to listen
that
to
makes
Bill
sense.
Withers,
Yeah.
It. And it's just so rare that an artist like, where they capture a moment in time so well, and it is so great. And that is this record, which is available on CD or whatever, but now finally available on vinyl, 2 LPs. It's a special color variant available only at indie record stores. But worth seeking out. Listen to it online, man. It is, if you even think you like Bill Withers, which I think you do.
Yeah.
This is going to change it. You're going to dig it.
You may not know you do, but you do.
Okay, that closes that portion of our program, the RSD Essentials. Let's move on to the vinyl ball.
Let's go.
It's.
I was mad when I saw this. I was mad
really
because my pick is for next week is a reggae album.
Whoops, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
But I was like, sometimes I think we start thinking alike.
Yeah, that could be.
Certain...
So this is what I've done. I didn't pick one record.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, let's go.
Let's talk about reggae records and records that are produced and made in Jamaica.
Yep.
So they're extremely hard to find.
Holy cow.
Yeah, most of them are still on the island, and the issue there is that they didn't really have a way to really extrude plastic to press. They had record pressing plants there, which they just restored, the original Tough Gong pressing plant. But those records were handmade for people on the island.
Right.
And so you end up with they're limited production, and they were so isolated that what they would do is they would take, especially 45s, they would take old records and chop them up and melt them down and make new records about them.
Repurpose them. Wow.
So, but the cool thing you get,
crazy.
Because there was such limited production, you get things like this, like where the labels, if they didn't, they would make a generic label. They'd make a generic label for the record company, and then they would have somebody typeset and sometimes it's a rubber stamp. They would actually just have somebody stamp all the records, because they were only going to sell like 3,000 or 4,000 of these 12 inches on the island. And 12 inches were a big thing. They kind of predated the whole disco thing. It's good. Okay. In that 12 inches were the raids there, because you do a track, you get a hot track, you get it in the clubs,
right?
You start promoting,
go straight to the DJ. Yep.
Yeah, and you can see how rough these labels are, man. They were just, in some cases, the labels are glued to they're not like actually pressed on the record. They're glued to it. So let's look at some of these.
This is a deep vinyl history lesson for you guys, man.
This is fantastic. Trying to provide some history and inform me. Look at this cool label, Hit. This is with the baseball guy on it. And on some of these, I think this is one you can see where it's made from recycled vinyl, where they've chopped them up. This one is Black Cinderella. Carol, or Sister Carol.
Sister Carol.
That's Black Cinderella's her
Sister
song.
Carol. Okay.
It's G&G All Star. Now, a lot of records were licensed and manufactured in New York and Miami, but it's really hard to find records that were actually pressed in Jamaica, and that's what these are right here.
This
two 12 inches. And again, to talk about the 12 inches, because it was expensive for them to make records and with limited market there, a lot of times they would press, they would do a really cool jacket for the label, so they could just reuse the same jacket for different records that were coming out. So you end up with cool jackets like this. This is the great Joe Gibbs Studio. Look at how cool the sleeve is.
That's nuts.
It's nuts. And years later, some of the, this has disco on it, but really the American and British disco labels copied, having cool, unique sleeves like this. Look at this one. This is so cool. This is the Revolutionaires Channel Zone. And then this is these are all the artists that are on the label, so you didn't know what record to get. And check this out. They made a sticker, and they put the sticker, because they use generic labels, and so the sticker has the name of the artist and the track on it.
Who is it?
This is Let's Dance by Hopton Lindo.
Wow.
And we've been very fortunate, had quite a few reggae collections come through the store, and this is just kind of some stuff we have right around.
This might be the coolest vinyl vault ever.
Let's see, on this record, I don't know if this comes through. This is one of those. Here's another rubber stamp. See, a generic label where they just made a rubber stamp.
That's amazing.
And put the artist and title, and you can see how this record, see all the dents and beat up. That's because they chopped it up and made other. So they don't sound so good. You get a lot of these imperfections,
sure they don't.
But they're wildly collectible.
Well, it's kind of like if you're watching like some old reggae documentary, and I've seen probably every dub documentary ever done, and when they play a track, it's like you can just hear the needle going over gravel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So let's look at a few full lengths, because the covers. I mean, the covers are just so cool, man. Look at this guy.
I'm loving this.
Who doesn't want to party with that guy? Look at his hat. This is Gussie. And a lot of these records were licensed and came back out in not so much the U.S., but more England. We see a lot of English records, English pressings of reggae records, because they really didn't press. Just look at this guy. Here's Dennis Al Capone. Like here he is with his cannon. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
Here he is sitting on top of it, lighting up a spliff.
Yes,
and this is on.
This is so cool.
The Coxone label. That's C.S. Dodd's label. Again, a great reggae producer. And again, you can even see the typesetting on the record. It's very rudimentary. They were working with what they had and just making some of the most important music of that era. Here's Jacob Killer Miller. Look at him, man. That is full. That is some passion.
That is some
right there. And again, very, very simple labels. And so you can probably buy a repress from these records that are where they use the master tapes. That probably sounds better than these records. But man, nothing's cooler than that. And really, Chris Blackwell, you didn't really see reggae records in the UK until he started going there and going around to record stores, buying them, filling up the trunk of his car. And that's how he built his empire, which became Island Records, was bringing reggae records to the UK and really fostering those music fans.
And there was
love for it.
And for the casual fan that, you say reggae and they think Bob Marley, but like so much important music was being made before we even heard Bob Marley over here. Before,
absolutely. Yeah.
And like you said, I mean, and unfortunately, it's one of the former British colonies that suffered from all sorts of economic problems. And they just did not have access to what other people, and whether it's instruments or recording equipment or whatever. And there's an urgency in the music.
It's so genuine,
just to be
it's
heard,
so
just to be this kind of primal scream in many.
And the messages in the music
exactly.
are so great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's poetry. But I thought, because you never see people ask, do you get any records from Jamaica? It's like, no, you don't, because they pretty much stayed there, were chopped up to make other records, or exported to the UK. But we get a few now and then, and check out some reggae music, man. It's almost summertime.
This is a treasure trove,
the sun is out. I see it.
Yeah.
Sun is out. Sun is shining, as Bob would say.
Yes, of course.
So
good job. Yeah. Good job, man. All right.
I managed to pick like 8 vinyl vault records, but
it counts. I think. You hope there's more in the vault than just the one record.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got to get out of here. It's been a long time. You have to follow @Cactus Music on the Instagram. Lots of information. Come out to one of the in-stores or listening parties.
3 of them over the next couple of days.
Independent record stores, and we will see you next week. Peace. I'm getting a cramp. We could just walk off the set. There you go. Boom. I love it. All right.